Tyrese Haliburton sent a warning to the entire NBA after he humbled Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
Looking, Haliburton driving, pulls up, jump shot. It's good!
This wasn't a lucky shot. It was part of a pattern, one that's already separating him from the competition. But here's what makes this terrifying. Nobody's talking about it. The league still treats him like a fun story, not a threat. They think he's too nice, too skinny, too early. But Tyrese Haliburton is quietly building the most historic clutch playoff run we've ever seen. If you dig just a little deeper, you'll see a pattern of game winners, last-second daggers, and elite playmaking that no one else is matching. So the real question isn't just how did he hit that shot, it's why is the NBA pretending like it doesn't matter? The Thunder learned something Thursday night that the rest of the league is about to discover. You can't game plan for this level of clutch performance. You can't scheme around a player who hits 86.7% of his shots when the game is on the line. OKC controlled that game for 47 minutes and 59.7 seconds. They executed their game plan perfectly, got the matchups they wanted, and played their style of basketball. Then Haliburton took 0.3 seconds to make it all irrelevant.
Looking, Haliburton driving, pulls up, jump shot.
That's the nightmare scenario when you're in the playoffs. You can play perfect basketball for 48 minutes, and if Haliburton gets one clean look in the final seconds, your season might be over. Shai dropped 38 points, easily outscoring Haliburton's 14. But Tyrese ran the game's rhythm and picked apart OKC's defense with precision. His impact wasn't about scoring volume. Rather, it came in the moments that mattered most. In a game that demanded leadership and clarity in the final minutes, Tyrese delivered both. And for a player who's been in MVP conversations all season, getting outmaneuvered that thoroughly in a playoff spotlight, that's a reality check. Because Haliburton didn't just win, he made it clear who the more dangerous star was when everything was on the line. The Thunder led 110 to 109 with 9 seconds left. Again, this was a team that dominated the regular season and about to make their statement for game one. Then Tyrese Haliburton walks in from half, pulls up from 21 feet, and drains a shot that shouldn't exist in playoff basketball. Everyone saw the celebration. The shock on OKC's faces, the Pacers bench erupting. What they didn't see was the visible cracks in the wall before everything broke through. This wasn't an upset. This was the inevitable result of a player who's been doing the impossible all playoffs long. Because while everyone was focused on that one shot, they missed the bigger picture. Haliburton has been building toward this moment for months, one clutch performance at a time, one game winner at a time, one record at a time. This level of clutch shooting efficiency is virtually unheard of in playoff basketball, especially sustained over multiple rounds against elite competition. We're talking about the NBA Finals, where defensive intensity peaks and every possession is magnified. And Tyrese Haliburton has been a nightmare for defenders in clutch moments this postseason. While exact shooting percentages on game-tying or go-ahead shots in the final minutes aren't publicly confirmed, his ability to consistently hit high-pressure shots is undeniable. Analysts and coaches alike have highlighted his calmness under pressure, comparing him to some of the best closers in NBA history. This kind of clutch performance forces every opposing team to rethink their late-game strategies because no lead feels safe when Haliburton has the ball in his hands. This isn't just a hot hand, it's cold-blooded control. Haliburton's hit 4 go-ahead or game-winning shots this postseason, each in high-pressure spots, each against different teams. No patterns, no panic, just calm, calculated execution. Opponents aren't just defending a shooter, they're up against a closer who's cracked the code on late game control. Here's the stat that should terrify everyone. Tyrese has hit 4 game-winning shots this postseason.
He'll backpedal a 3 for the win, and
4 different rounds.
He's gonna let him play. Haliburton steps back, and
4 different elimination scenarios.
slight difference, game clock, shot clock. Haliburton
4 moments where the season was on the line.
pulls up, jump shot. It's good! It's good!
Round 1 against the Bucks, game winner that announced the Pacers as legitimate contenders. Round 2 against the Cavs, another clutch shot when doubters said it was a fluke. Round 3 against the Knicks, buzzer beater that forced overtime and eventually sent Indiana to the finals. And now game 1 against OKC, the 20-foot pull-up with 0.3 seconds left. That's not variance, that's not luck. That's a pattern of dominance that puts him in conversations with the greatest closers in playoff history, except he's doing it at age 25 in his first deep playoff run. But Indiana's Game 1 win wasn't just another victory, it was their first NBA Finals win since 2000, finally breaking that 25-year drought. And the 15-point comeback in the fourth quarter, that was the biggest rally for a game winner in a finals matchup in over a decade. A momentum shift so brutal, it flipped the series on its head. The clutch wins added metric tells the real story. Haliburton has generated 2.48 clutch wins for the Pacers this postseason, passing previous single postseason records. He's literally adding more value in pressure situations than we've seen in modern NBA history. But here's the disconnect that makes this story so fascinating. The NBA and media are still treating Haliburton like a fun underdog instead of what he actually is. A future finals MVP hiding in plain sight. They see his personality and think, aw shucks, Midwestern nice guy. They see his frame and think he's too skinny for the moment. They see Indiana and think small market story. What they're missing is a cold-blooded assassin who thrives when the lights are brightest and the pressure is highest. After Thursday's game winner, Haliburton's teammates talked about how much he wants the ball in those moments, how he doesn't just accept the pressure, he seeks it out. His teammates consistently describe his hunger for clutch moments and his confidence when everything is on the line. That's not the mindset of a fun story. That's the mindset of a player who understands he's operating at a different level than everyone else in the most important moments. Here's what gets lost in all the clutch shooting. Haliburton is averaging 9.5 assists per game this postseason while maintaining his historic clutch efficiency. He's not just making shots when it matters most, he's orchestrating offense at an elite level throughout entire games. The assist numbers matter because they show this isn't just about individual moments. Tyrese is making everyone around him better, creating easy shots for teammates, then stepping up to make the hardest shots himself when the game is decided. Andrew Nembhard, Obi Toppin, Miles Turner, role players who are performing above their usual level because they know their point guard will consistently make the right decision under pressure. That confidence multiplies throughout the roster and creates the culture where clutch execution becomes the team's identity. Here's the scariest part of this entire story. What if this isn't just a Cinderella run? What if the Pacers aren't just having a magical playoff moment, but announcing themselves as a legitimate championship contender, built around a player who performs better under pressure than anyone in the league? The media narrative wants to frame this as Indiana's fun little playoff adventure, David versus Goliath, underdog against the favored guy. But the numbers suggest something very different. They suggest a team led by a player who has mastered the most important skill in championship basketball, delivering when everything is on the line. Haliburton isn't just outperforming expectations. He's rewriting what clutch basketball looks like at the highest level. He's not just winning games, he's doing it with a smile on his face, while everyone else tries to figure out what just happened.
I'm obviously confident in my ability, and just, it's a shot I've worked on a million times, and I'll work on a million times more.
Thursday night's shot against the Thunder wasn't just a game winner. It was a warning shot, a message to every team, every analyst, every fan who thought they understood what was happening in these playoffs. Because right now, while everyone debates whether this is sustainable, whether it's luck, whether Indiana can really compete at this level, Haliburton is quietly building something that could reshape the entire championship conversation. What happens when the rest of the NBA finally realizes they're not just watching a playoff run, they're watching history unfold, and by then, it might already be over?